Hi guys, this is VengeanceTech, and today we're going to do another Minecraft tutorial on my tree farm. This is actually my tree farm, but what I'm going to show you first is how this, progressed. Um, what I wanted to do is I wanted to find a use for this high-speed comparator uh, clock, and I figured, well, I'm going to build a tree farm with it. So what I did, if you want to know, this is how you build it. It's fairly easy. Comparator, you run redstone dust around it, and then you run a signal into it. Do this. And what you need to do is you need to pull up this torch. And what that does is it gives you a high-speed clock. What I wanted to do is I wanted to use this in a tree farm design. So what I did is I did the very, the most basic thing I could do is I took this, comparator clock and I fed it into a dispenser, and I guess I gotta grab some trees actually, and this works with oak trees, and this actually would grow a tree. Inside the dispenser is bone meal, and you get a tree. This is an incredibly large tree, but you get a tree. And so what I did is I figured, okay, that's great, that works good, but I wanted it to be a little bit faster. So what I did is I built this, which is the same thing as that, except instead of having a single dispenser, it actually has 4. That way, every time I press the button, it grows a tree. I figured, oh, okay, that's great. Well, I'm gonna scale that up. I'm gonna build this, which is gonna be my instant tree forest. And I'll put all these trees in here. You can kind of see it grow. This is my instant tree forest. It's a 4x4 pattern of the 4 dispensers, and basically every dispenser fires all at the same time, and you get basically a ton of trees every time you press the button. But what I found is that some of these trees fail to grow because of what's above it, and what it does, it basically wastes your bone meal. And the other thing I found is that, and let me get rid of this rain. Why is it always raining when I'm recording? And basically what it does is it wastes the bone meal in these dispensers. And of course this is really kind of a pain to actually refill all the dispensers with bone meal. And it's just going to, it'll keep wasting the bone meal until it can actually find a tree that it can grow. And since it was such a pain to actually fill all the dispensers with bone meal, what I did is I came up with this. What this is it's a basically it's a hopper chain, and it fills the dispensers whenever you put bone meal in this large chest, and it actually evenly distributes the bone meal between these two. And basically it's the same as that. I used 2 dispensers here just for an experiment. What I wanted to do is I wanted to find out how much bone meal it actually used compared to a single dispenser. So that's why these two are actually kind of side by side. And what I found is that this design actually used twice as much bone meal to grow a tree than this design. So I actually tested this right here, and this actually uses 4 times as much bone meal to grow the same tree. And I was like wondering, well, why? Is it supposed to be doing that? And what's happening is, since all these 4 dispensers, fire bone meal at the same time, this tree basically, is told to, update here and, grow a tree. But if the first one actually, sends its bone meal to this sapling that's planted in here, and it grows the tree, or the tree is, I guess, told to grow, these 3 actually waste their bone meal. So what's happening is that every time you bone meal it, it ends up wasting bone meal. Okay, so the only efficient way to do this would be, a single dispenser. But then I actually got to looking at how a dispenser works. A dispenser only fires its contents when it actually receives a signal. I'll kind of show you this. What I got is purple wool blocks in here, and it got a signal. It dispensed this wool block. You turn it off, no wool block, no signal. Turn it on, you get another wool block. So I was thinking, well, how can something like that be used with this? So the first thing I came up with is, well, I'm going to put another timer in here. So I'm going to actually do that real quick here. I don't know how that got put down. But I put another timer in here, and I wired that up to the same signal that this one's getting. Okay. There's something wrong with this. Well, what's happening is that these 2 are conflicting with each other. So they don't actually work. And then I basically figured out that, this piece of redstone in here was causing the problem. And what happens is that these 2 timers are actually in sync with one another, which is not exactly what I wanted. So what I did is I took this and I wanted to get the timing a little bit different. So I put a repeater right here. Actually, I'll shut this off. Now it's actually firing one dispenser on every other tick. So it fires this dispenser, tick goes by, it fires this one, and it basically keeps firing back and forth. This doesn't waste any bone meal, because as soon as this tree grows, these stop dispensing. But I was kind of looking at this circuit, it's like, wow, okay, I got 2 comparators, 2 clocks, and a repeater. What if I take this repeater and put it right here? So I figured, okay, well, that's going to work. And what I found out is that doesn't work. This signal needs a certain amount of redstone wire to actually allow this repeater to actually work. What I mean by that is that you can see that, one side's actually firing, but the other side's not. After a little bit of troubleshooting, I found out that if you put the repeater here, it actually fires both sides. And it has something to do with the signal that actually comes out of here. This point right here, the redstone signal doesn't actually return all the way to an off condition. It's actually, since it's in subtraction mode, what it does is you get a difference of this signal right here and a difference of this signal right here. So at this point, it's full signal. This is one less, this is one less, and it basically subtracts this signal from this signal over here. When this signal is off, what happens is you lose this signal. So what happens is every piece of redstone dust you have, it gives you, I guess 2 less signal coming out. So what happens is this doesn't actually flip between full signal and zero, or no signal. It flips between, well, a almost full signal and probably a really low signal. And what happens is that when you put the repeater here, it sees a signal here and it tries to repeat it. So you need a couple redstone here to actually make this work. Okay? And that works fine. So, I put a tree here, turn this thing on, and it grows a tree. And it actually uses the same amount of bone meal as a single dispenser one. So this is kind of a success. It grows the tree faster, it uses the same amount of bone meal as this one, and it uses quite a bit less bone meal than this one. So what I did is I figured, well, I like this. Can I get this out of the way? I like the idea of automating things. And since, filling the bone meal was kind of a real, pain. When I did this bigger one, what I did is I automated it by putting a chest here, and this is a hopper chain that feeds into that dispenser, and this is a hopper chain that feeds into this dispenser. So whatever bone meal I put in here, is evenly divided between the two. So, and then what I did is I basically made an automated collection system that collects all the drops from the tree. That way it's, fully automated, and I don't have to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is, this is my tree farm. I'm going to show you how to build it. And basically I'm going to come over here a little bit. I'll do it right here so you can kind of see everything. Well, yeah, it's kind of far away, but I'll actually go between these torches here. And the first thing you're going to need is a set of dispensers and a set of droppers. The droppers are for actually lifting the items, and we'll put a dropper here right beside that torch, and a dropper here right beside that torch. Then on top of this, we're going to take our dispensers and we're going to face them inward like that, and we'll grab some dirt. This is where your trees are actually going to be growing. We'll put a block of dirt there. Okay, and we need to power it. So we'll put some redstone here, and we need to put our 1 tick delay repeater here. That way it fires it, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth forever with our timer. And we'll wire over this way somewhere. I'm just going to run a kind of a longer string here. Oops. We'll shorten this down later. And then for the automated collection, all it is at this hopper, at this dispenser, all it's going to be is a set of hoppers. And what you want to do is you want to have 4 hoppers going this way, and 3 hoppers going this way. And this will handle the small trees. And if you're going to be doing the large trees, this is for small trees. I'll show you how to make it so that it only grows small trees also. And if you want for the large trees, you're going to add 1 hopper to each one of these. That way you can actually collect the drops from the large trees also. So you're going to have 4 hoppers this way, 5 this way, and 5 this way. Now, underneath here, to actually get the bone meal into the dispensers, these droppers actually lift items. What you're going to need is a path for the bone meal to actually travel. I'm going to actually build this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I built this out 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that way I can probably put a double chest in there and everything's all good. And then again on top you're gonna build 5 dispensers out of each one of these dispensers. Just like that. And then you pretty much you can fill in all this to make a large square. Now this actually takes a lot of hoppers. So, you know, if you're doing this on a survival world, you're going to probably need like an iron golem farm first. That way you can actually collect enough iron to actually make these hoppers. But if you have enough iron, you know, this is a really, really, really nice design. And if the skeleton gets out of my way. Let me grab a sword here. I'll get rid of this. Let me get rid of this guy here. Fix that hole that I made. I should actually be doing this on like peaceful so that I don't get any mobs, but okay, and when you get your square like this, the very next thing you're gonna do is on this area, what I do is I alternate them. That way it doesn't actually back up in this area. It's not gonna really back up anyway, but then when you're down here, you're actually going to want to stand at this level when you do this. You alternate these also. That way, you can actually collect the drops that fall in this kind of this channel. The reason I do this channel here is so that I can actually put half slabs on top of it. That way, it just looks nice, or it looks nicer, I guess. At least to me. You know, you can do it however you want, but this is how I do it. Now, this one over here has a single chest on each side. It really doesn't matter, but actually, we'll do it with a single chest. I got quick stairs up, and place my chest. Another way you can actually do this, and actually works really well, is instead of actually feeding these hoppers into this dispenser right here, you can actually feed it this opposite direction. But it really doesn't matter because these hoppers underneath are going to pull items out of the hoppers that are above. Feeding it in this opposite direction, what happens is that as soon as this gets backlogged, if it ever does get backlogged, it'll actually take the items and get it into this chest. So I'm going to actually make that change real quick here. that's it, other than our little timer. And we'll put that right in here someplace. Our comparator clock timer. We'll put it right. We'll put it right here. And we'll put a redstone dust right here. We'll pull up this torch, and we'll put an on-off switch so that we can actually turn this off so it doesn't, lag our computers. And if you're doing this on a server, the server. Put a lever for the on-off switch. And we'll fire it up. And if you notice, it didn't actually work. That is because we don't have the right signal going into it here. I'm actually one off of where I need to be. If you notice, I do a lot of mistakes on my videos. I'm trying to get better and better, but I still make mistakes like everybody else. Alright. Hear that thing go on. We'll grab us some bone meal. Say hi to Mr. Creeper. And we're all set to do a trial run of this thing. We'll turn it on. Our bone meal is making its way into the dispensers. That one's already full. I think it's full at least. Oh, not quite. As soon as this thing hits full, you can see that it's not using any bone meal. And we'll drop a tree in there. Watch it grow. Voila. Instant tree. Now, when you're actually harvesting wood, all you really got to do is pull out the center section. And keep planting. And I'll kind of show you the collection here. I'll actually come on over to this one. We'll get this one going too. As this tree decomposes here, it's going to drop apples and leaves and everything, and saplings, and everything ends up in this one area right here. That way you can just, walk over here. Oops, I just sent a hopper into it. That way you can just kind of walk over in this area and you can collect all the items that drop. The saplings and apples and everything else. And it works. So anyway, this is VengeanceTech. And if you like this video, please leave comments, subscribe, leave a like. Kind of shut this off here. Leave comments, leave a like, subscribe if you want to. And I'm definitely going to look at the comments. You can see how much bone meal it actually used to grow those few trees that I actually grew. And, what time is it? We'll kind of leave this video with, I guess with a bonfire. This is VengeanceTech. Please leave a like, leave comments, and subscribe. See you next time, guys. Bye.